Welcome to my presentation about the main benefits of potassium nitrate over potassium chloride, potassium sulfate and potassium thiosulfate. In this presentation I will present three main topics. The first one is an overview of the main chemical differences between potassium nitrate and potassium chloride, potassium sulfate and potassium thiosulfate. In my presentation I will use the term PTS, potassium thiosulfate, and not KTS, because KTS is a registered trademark of the producer. The second part of my presentation is about the selection of the right potassium fertilizer, chloride based, sulfate or thiosulfate based, and in relation to the nitrogen source. And to conclude, I will show a summary of the main advantages of potassium nitrate over potassium sulfate. I put a statement on the screen. And now it's up to you if you agree with the statement or disagree. And the statement is the following. Potassium nitrate can be easily replaced by potassium sulfate and an alternative nitrogen source. Think about this. At the end of my presentation, I will give you the answer to this question. Let's have an overview of the main potassium sources. As you can see in the table below, the differences between the various potassium sources are decided for by the counter ion. In the case of potassium nitrate, nitrate is the counter ion. In case of potassium chloride, it's chloride. In case of potassium sulfate, it's sulfate. In case of potassium thiosulfate, it is the thiosulfate ion. All the potassium is the same, so that is not making the difference. But the ions, the counter ions, are making the difference. Furthermore, when it comes to nitrogen, in the case of potassium nitrate, it's the nitrate nitrogen. But when we use potassium sulfate or thiosulfate, we also have to complement, for the proper comparison, an alternative nitrogen source. And many times this is urea or an ammonium nitrogen based fertilizer like ammonium sulfate. So as the first step, we will make the comparison between potassium nitrate and potassium chloride. A number of crops are known to be sensitive to chloride, like fruit crops such as apricot, avocado, banana, citrus, grape, mango, peach, nut trees like walnut and almond, berries including strawberries, blueberries, vegetables like lettuce, sweet pepper, onions, field crops like tobacco and potato, coffee and flowers. Nitrate helps to prevent excess chloride, as shown in this slide. When we feed the plant with sufficient nitrate, then nitrate will help to keep chloride outside the plant. This is what we call an antagonistic action between nitrate and chloride. This is ideal when plants are grown under saline conditions, because the nitrogen will help to keep chloride outside the plant. If we look at the advantages of nitrate over ammonium nitrogen, we have the chloride nitrate uptake antagonism and at the same time the chloride ammonium nitrogen synergism. Ammonium helps with its positive charge in the absorption of chloride with a negative charge. So when it comes to the right K fertilizer selection with respect to chloride, potassium chloride, for all those crops that are being sensitive to chloride, avoid using chloride containing fertilizers. This can be straight potassium chloride, but also granular NPKs based on potassium chloride. So from the 4 fertilizers we can already reduce it to 3, leaving us with potassium sulfate, potassium thiosulfate and potassium nitrate. Thank you very much for your attention. It was great being here with you today, and I hope you can use all this information for the benefit of the crop. Thank you again.